Hello everyone. This demonstration will show you how to capture grades or levels of understanding on your standards or essential learnings. To do this, we must create an assignment. First, I want you to select the class that you're going to capture these grades under. So we could select Algebra Geometry 2 course. Then we must click and make sure that we are on the correct term. So right now we are underneath semester 1 and we want to collect grades under term 1. So I'm going to select term 1. So term 1 is in progress, so you want these two to match. Next, what you'll need to do is collect the plus sign, which then will open up this new assignment window. Now you'll need to give your assignment a name. So your PLC may want to come up with some standard nomenclature, such as Unit 1, and we want to call this maybe draft 1 on, I know this is a geometry class, but I'm going to make it into English as well. Draft 1 on To Kill a Mockingbird. Okay, now I'm just going to press tab, and you do only have a limited number of letters that you can enter in here, so you may have to abbreviate that. So if I hit the tab key, what it automatically does is it will fill in this abbreviation, which is a nice feature. If you hit tab key again, then it takes us to our category, which is a required field we must fill in. So now you need to select the category this is going to fall under, and we're going to do this under writing. So now I'm going to capture grades under writing. If I hit tab again, now I want to decide on how am I going to record these grades, or what kind of grades am I going to generate? Am I going to generate points, or am I going to record grades as percentages or letter grades? So you can decide on that. Next, you want to decide on the possible points for writing. How many points is this out of? Maybe it's out of 100. If you're going to do if you're going to do percentages, that's probably what you'll use. Very simple. Next, you're going to need to select the Standards tab. Okay. So once you select the Standards tab, what you want to do is then select your essential learnings. Now you can do this two different ways. You could select Standard 1, and if you select Standard 1, it will automatically link Essential Learning 1.1 and Essential Learning 1.2 with this assignment. If I want to select each one of these individually, then it will select just those essential learnings to this draft. So if I'm going to do it both ways, I'm going to run through an example both ways and show you what that looks like. So I'm going to select the individual ones first, and you'll see that when I go back to assignment, I hit save, and you're going to see if I close this window, now you see this little tab here that identifies that there are standards linked to this assignment. If I click on that window, you'll see those Essential Learning 1, Essential Learning 2. Okay. Now what I can do is I can capture information about those. This is going to capture information about a number. So what it's asking you for here is a level of understanding, such as a 1, 2, 3, or 4. So you can think of as a 4 as an A, 3 as a B, 2 as a C, 1 as a D. And so then you can enter in information about this student or this student, and you can quickly go through and enter information. Because this is a draft, maybe I don't want it calculated into the final grade, so I will not put a grade into this column. Only if I wish that this grade counts in the final grade will I enter something in this column, into the main assignment column. So let me go back and I'll run through an assignment. I'll set up an assignment that I'm just going to select the standard, so it'll link these two essential learnings to it. I'll go back and I'll say, okay, I got to click yes because I want to save those grades. Now I'll just put in a fake one here, test, and I will go and I'll hit tab. I got to link it to a category, so writing again. And I want to do points, all of that's fine. I'm going to do standard this time, and I'm just going to click standard this time and hit save. If I hit standard and save and I go back, you'll notice that it actually put the test in front of the draft, the first one we created, because what PowerGrade does is it puts them in alphabetically if they're on the same date. So if you would like this test one to come after your draft one, then what you'd have to do is change the grade on this one. So I'll quickly do that and I'll show you what that does. So if I change this to maybe the 17th and I hit save, it's going to then move the test to the end. So now if I want to capture grades on this, let's say, see now how this is different. It captures the standard instead of the 2 essential learnings. Well, I can record then grades just on that standard, which will tell the student that for this standard, which means that it's going to collect information on the 2 essential learnings. Maybe they were a 4, this person was a 4, this one was a 3, and a 3. So this is the way we collect information about a standard, which will automatically link these 2 in, or we can get more specific and we can collect information about essential learnings. Now, if I want the grade to count in the final grade so that they actually come up with a final grade here, I have to put a number into this column. So let's say this student, since he got a 4, let's say he got a 95, this student was an 80, and this student was maybe an 83. So now you'll see that it's generating a final grade. If I put a grade into here, which is a formative, which is not what the JIS principles of assessment would want us to do. If I want to put a grade in there just to have that information, I could put in here that this student scored since he was a 2, let me put in a 75. This one was a 4, so let's give him 100. And this student is a 2, so let's give him a 70. Okay, notice that that then averages these 2 grades together. So because this is formative, I want to go back into this and I want to click Do Not Include in Final Grade, and it'll make it back into a formative grade again. And you'll notice, once I go back to the main screen, you'll notice that, again, it's going to take these only and it's going to gray this out. So you can record the information about how they did on the draft, but it's not going to calculate up into the final grade. I hope this video helps.